basically my problem has been for a long time, when I started playing live about 15 years ago, the problem has been that it's obviously quite difficult to reproduce electronic music in a live context because you can't really travel with your entire studio setup. And what basically saved me, and I think a lot of other electronic musicians, is Ableton Live, which I think, I don't know, probably about 90% of people are using these days. Now the good thing about Live is I think that it's so flexible. You can obviously use it for kind of quite tracky, abstract stuff. The main challenge for me was that a lot of my music obviously quite rigidly follows certain chord progressions and has a certain harmonic melodic structure, so it's not so easy to combine elements from different tracks. So this is why I think that this setup is an example for probably quite a good setup if you're working with music that follows more conventional harmonic and melodic structures, but by no means this is like an ultimate way to do things. Obviously there's plenty of other. So even sometimes when I play stuff live, I realize that certain things can be combined in a different way and actually may end up on a record even that way. So I'm just gonna try to activate one part here. Okay, so now you see I've got everything playing, and I'm just gonna try to sort of build like some kind of structure. So I had a bit of a problem with the song. This is going to be on the next record as well. I couldn't really think about a suitable ending part for it, and I had two elements which I just sort of accidentally combined in a live setup, and I realized that both of these elements together, they would actually make a nice additional part for the song, and that's actually on the record. So it's based on this sequence, which kind of forms the verse part. And I had this bass line and backing track for it in the actual verse, with a rhythm track with some resonating delays on it, and I actually did realize that works quite nicely with that sequence as well, so I'm just going to make a quick transition. A very computer-based setup, but I think it can't hurt having a bit of hardware with you as well. So I'm using one of my favorite effects units that I'm constantly using in the studio as well, which is this one, the Ensoniq DP4. It's a multi-effects unit with some very nice filters, some very nice modulation effects. Very underrated these days as well, because everyone's switching to plugins, so you can pick up one of those for £100 these days. So, and it works quite nicely on its own if you just feed back the effects. This is just the DP4 now. But it does react nicely to put it on some of the stuff that you've got coming from the computer. So you see, it's quite good for making sort of quite dynamic transitions if you just want to build something. You could see this as a fixed playlist. You see, when I scroll down here, this is kind of like the order I usually play. Every gig is a bit different. You know, like sometimes you play like a quiet, seated. You focus on the more ambient aspects. Or if it's like a club gig, you want to play some of the more upfront stuff. So it is. That's what I enjoy about it. Basically, it's really flexible. And one thing that can be a bit of a pain is if you have really long reverb times or effects and stuff, then to find the right looping points and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the good thing is once you've done this for a little while and you've built up like a basic library, then you just add some stuff now and then, and you already have a solid foundation to build on. So it's alright. One other sound. This is the type of sound when I play that song on my own. So this is like a bit more of a distorted one. One of the few things where I'm not really using synths. I'm basically using the sampler. So what I do quite often is I have like a sine wave and then put that through guitar foot pedal effects because they give like a nice crunch. And to be honest with you, I've got like an Ibanez pedal from the 70s, and I've looked around finding like a plug-in replacement for many years, but I think nothing sounds as nice and crunchy as that pedal. So like sometimes I think it's good to use hardware still, definitely. So this is basically it as like a element with some main synths here, some additional things, some low-endy stuff. I've always put like a name here so that I don't lose the overview completely. And then there's like some kind of quite distorted elements in this file. There's a sequence here. Maybe I should just play some of the stuff. Makes it a bit more understandable, I suppose. I'm fading the stuff in now, so one after one, so you can basically see how it builds up into a complete piece of music. And then what I usually do is I separate it, that I have the harmonic elements on one channel and the beats and bass separately, so that I can give the sound engineer like a more flexible setup to work with. So that will be just the beats track. Just the 1 and 2, and basically this obviously just loops, and then you just have to sort of try to create transitions and put some effects on it, and just try to create transitions so that rather than it's just like track by track, you actually get a musical movement within. So that's the idea. Sometimes I switch around a bit. I've got like 2 setups here that I quite like. So this is like an envelope controlled filter with a bit of distortion and a delay, and the second set with some pitch shifting and delay on it. But I've got quite a nice reverb, and here I'm using a lot, so I can probably try that on the synth sound. Not that one. Question about replacing something, because the plugins can definitely do a lot of stuff that the DP4 can't, but also the other way around. I think especially the filter in the DP4 sounds very unique. It's the same filter, that effect that was in the ASR 10 sampler that they had in the 90s as well, and that is a really nice filter. So I wouldn't want to give up on using that just for some plugin. So it's always depends on what it is you really choose.